Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. This is Game On and I'm your host Neha Bhardwaj Alter. Today we are going to begin with cricket. India are all set to play Bangladesh in the first test at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. But there are big selection headaches for Rohit Sharma and his new partner in crime, Gautam Gambhir. Let's find out what are the biggest talking points before the series begins. Rohit Sharma and his team had another extensive training session in the build-up to the first test against Bangladesh, with all 16 members of the squad turning for practice at the Chepauk in Chennai today. After a day's rest, the India squad members took part in their third training session since their arrival in Chennai last week. The first test begins on Thursday. The big talking point before the start of the first test are number one, Virat Kohli and his return. He hasn't played tests for a while and it'll be interesting to see how he gets back to this format that he loves the most. Virat Kohli last played in South Africa in January this year. He missed the England series due to personal reasons and now he is back. He was among the first set of batters to hit the nets. In the adjacent net was southpaw Yashasvi Jaiswal. They faced Jasprit Bumrah and the local hero Ravichandran Ashwin. And then the next set of batters included skipper Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill and Sarfaraz Khan. Talking of Sarfaraz Khan, the other big question before the start of the series is whether Sarfaraz will be selected for the first test. The 26-year-old racked up 200 runs in 3 matches with 3 half-centuries under his belt when he made his debut in the series against England. Sarfaraz also took part in the Duleep Trophy and had scores of 9, 46 and 16, which hasn't really helped his cause, but it'll be interesting to see whether Gautam Gambhir will think that he should get a chance ahead of KL Rahul. Now, Ravindra Jadeja, Rishabh Pant and pacer Mohammad Siraj too faced local bowlers and significant amount of throwdowns, which leads us to the other big question. Will India go with Rishabh Pant or will they continue with Jurel? Pant was extremely successful in the 2021-22 season but had been out of cricket after he met with an accident. He returned in the World Cup for India, did well in the World Cup, but in his absence in red ball cricket, Jurel, he got an opportunity. He impressed during his debut test series against England and his glove work was outstanding in the first round of the Duleep Trophy as well. But now that Pant is back and in all likelihood he will be picked up ahead of Jurel. The question then is, should Jurel get an opportunity just for his batting? That is the big question. Has he done enough to be in the team on his batting alone, or will KL Rahul make a comeback and Sarfaraz and Jurel will be out with Rishabh Pant in the playing 11 as well? There are more than a few selection dilemmas for Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir ahead of this first test. Now, the Chennai surface usually favors the spinners, and there is a possibility of India going into the game with 3 spinners and 2 pacers. The spinners expected to feature are Ashwin, Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, while Bumrah and Siraj will share the workload in the pace department. Akshar Patel, despite his impressive all-round returns across formats, may just have to sit out. Now, the race for the World Test Championship final is heating up, and as India start their home season against Bangladesh, let's take a look at how the top teams are stacking up for the WTC final. We begin with India, and Rohit Sharma's team are in a strong position as they lead the points table with the highest percentage of points, 1. Their upcoming home series against Bangladesh and New Zealand will be crucial in consolidating their top spot. India travelled to Australia for a 5-match test series. That will be a huge challenge for both these teams, in fact, India and Australia, and could essentially determine who would play in the final. Then we move on to Australia. The current defending champions are also in a strong position, sitting in second place with 62.5 percentage points. Their performance in the Border Gavaskar series against India and their 2 test series in Sri Lanka will be pivotal in securing their spot in the final. With the added challenge of Sri Lankan series, they will need to be at their best to maintain or improve their standings. New Zealand, the inaugural WTC champions, are currently in the third place with 50 PCTs. They will be playing 8 WTC matches in a span of the next 2.5 months. Out of those 8, 5 will be played in the subcontinent against Sri Lanka and India respectively. If they can navigate subcontinent challenges successfully, they might climb up the standings. Bangladesh find themselves in the 4th place after a 2-0 series win over Pakistan. They began the cycle with a victory over New Zealand but suffered defeats against Sri Lanka. Bangladesh has 3 series remaining, including away tours to India and the West Indies. Sri Lanka has emerged as a potential dark horse in the WTC final race after the recent win against England in the 3rd test. If they can win their upcoming home series against New Zealand and Australia, that will be key. They will have a good shot at the final. They also have 2 test series away against South Africa. And then there is England. England's unexpected defeat at the Oval has certainly put a dent in their chances. They will need to bounce back strongly in their remaining fixtures to keep their final hopes alive. With the WTC final set for June 11, 2025, there's still plenty of cricket to be played and a lot of twists and turns to come in this exciting race to Lords. We move on to hockey. Skipper Harmanpreet Singh's sublime form resulted in twin strikes as defending champions India entered the final of the Asian Champions Trophy with a clinical 4-1 win against South Korea in the semi-final in Mochi in China. Today, India scored through Uttam Singh in the 13th minute. Skipper Harmanpreet Singh was on the mark twice and Jarmanpreet Singh also scored one, while Korea's lone goal came from Yang Ji-hoon via a penalty corner conversion. India will take on host China in Tuesday's final. Earlier in the day, China defeated Pakistan 2-0 via shootout in the first semi-final after the two teams finished 1-1 at the end of the regulation 60 minutes. In the previous league stage encounter between the two finalists, India prevailed 3-0. Pakistan and Korea will face off in the third place classification match, which will also be played on Tuesday. As expected, the Indians started on the offensive and tested the Korean defense with persistent attacks from the word go. India's attacking intent paid off in the 13th minute with Uttam positioned himself at the right place at the right time to tap in Arijit Singh's supply from the right. All right, we move on to football now. Barcelona continue to be unstoppable in the La Liga this season as they outplayed Catalan rivals Girona on Sunday. With 2 goals in less than 10 minutes, Lamine Yamal, he led Barcelona to their 5th straight victory at the start of the Spanish league season. The teenagers' double plus second half goals from Dani Olmo and Pedri gave Barcelona a commanding 4-1 victory, guiding the club to a 4-point lead at the top. Yamal's goal on Sunday were his 2nd and 3rd of the season. The 17-year-old Euro 2024 winner opened the scoring after stealing the ball from a defender and sending a close-range shot into the net in the 30th minute. He scored again in the 37th after picking up a loose ball inside the area. This is what, in fact, the teenage star said after the win. He said, and I quote, "To help the team, it's important to score the goals and to do whatever is needed." The first match after the international break is always complicated. Now we can start focusing on the match in Champions League on Thursday. Dani Olmo, he scored his 3rd goal since joining Barcelona this season from a tight angle in the 47th, and Pedri sealed the easy victory with a goal from inside the area in the 64th. Olmo, who had to be replaced in the second half because of a right leg injury, became the first player to score in his first 3 league games for Barcelona since Cesc Fabregas in 2011. Only Zlatan Ibrahimovic in 2009 achieved the same feat this century. Christian Stuani, he scored Girona's lone goal in the 80th minute. The hosts were initially awarded a penalty kick for a handball inside the area just before halftime, with Barcelona leading 2-0, but the call was reversed by a video referral system. Now, Barcelona played with 10 men from the 87th minute after Ferran Torres was sent off for a hard foul on an opponent. Poland striker Robert Lewandowski played his 100th match with Barcelona. Girona, a surprise third-place finisher last season, had won both their league games against Barcelona last season. Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Converted penalties to help earn Real Madrid a 2-0 win over Real Sociedad after the hosts were repeatedly denied by the woodwork in their La Liga encounter. Vinicius put the visitors ahead in the 58th minute after an unnecessary handball by former Manchester City player Sergio Gomez gave the Madrid forward the chance to break the deadlock on Saturday. Mbappe then put the result beyond doubt in the 75th minute after a video review by the referee determined that Sociedad defender Joan Aramburu he stomped on Vinicius' foot in the box. But before the goals, Madrid had to weather a furious attack by the Basque club that found ways through the defending champions' defence, only to be turned back by the goal frame. Ancelotti's side drew their other two outings in the Spanish league. Madrid opens their Champions League defence against Stuttgart on Tuesday. Sociedad matched Madrid's pace and punch in a frenetic first half. Lucas Susic, he hit the post twice, including a missile that rattled the crossbar in the 25th minute, and Sherlado Becker also sent a ball off the crossbar. On the other end, Real Madrid relied on Mbappe to provide that main threat, while Sociedad goalkeeper Alex Romero did well to turn back an Antonio Rudiger header. Susic sent another ball off the post from a pass by Umar Sadiq just seconds after halftime. Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois then confessed that they were lucky with the post. Despite the win, coach Carlo Ancelotti was not happy with his Real Madrid side. He said, and I quote, "We probably didn't deserve to win, but we know how to dig in during the worst moments. I value that sacrifice. That is often tough to see on a team with the talent that this one has." Sociedad were undone when Gomez raised his arm above his head and blocked a shot by Arda Güler, allowing Vinicius to go to the spot where he fired right past Ramiro. Mbappe then beat Ramiro when he shot one away as the goalie dove the other side. Madrid forward Brahim Diaz was substituted in the first half with a leg muscle issue. Lionel Messi made a successful return after a lengthy absence due to injury. He scored 2 goals and assisted on the third to lead Inter Miami to a 3-1 victory over the Philadelphia Union. The Argentine star winger and 8-time Ballon d'Or winner had not played with Inter Miami since 1st of June because of national team commitment and a right ankle injury sustained in a 1-0 victory over Colombia in the Copa America final on 14th of July. Fans had barely settled in when Union forward Mikel Ure he stunned the home crowd with a goal 2 minutes into the match. Messi had his first scoring opportunity in the 7th minute with a free kick near the half circle that was cleared by the wall of the Philadelphia defenders. For Inter Miami, the victory came with a prize defender David Martinez. He left early in the first half because of a groin injury, and his replacement Noah Allen also was removed after what Martino said was a blow to the head. Both clubs will continue league play with away matches on Wednesday. Inter Miami will visit Atlanta on Tuesday, while the Union visit New York City FC on Tuesday. Messi, who resumed practice 3 weeks ago, showed no rustiness or ill effects from the injury with his performance. He scored twice in a 4-minute span midway through the first half that negated that early goal by Philadelphia. After the game, he said, and I quote, "A little bit tired because of the heat and humidity of Miami, but I wanted to return so much after such a long time away. I started training with the group and began to feel better." Now, in our series of interviews with cricketers on Game On, today we have Maninder Singh, a 17-year-old who had the world at his feet after he was seen as the heir apparent to Bishan Singh Bedi. But his journey turned out to be quite different from his mentor. Maninder Singh wasn't able to harness his full potential, but he became a good reader of the game and has been commentating on cricket since then. He spoke to Nishit Malhotra in Birmingham, who began by asking him about the big names in modern-day cricket who keep making it to the headlines ever so often. If he had to pick his favourites from the past with whom he still enjoys being on the field After retirement, who would they be? This is what he said.
There's been a lot of favorite players of mine. Jack Khalis is there. All the Indian boys, Yuvraj Singh, Harbhajan Singh. So it's very difficult to say name one or two. There's plenty of them. Brett Lee is there. Dale Steyn is there. So it's very difficult to name one or two. I think there's plenty of them there.
Maninder emerged on the international scene as a phenomenal left-arm orthodox spinner. He did not get as many opportunities as he deserved, but as somebody who understands spin bowling in and out, what has been a memorable bowling spell for him in the past?
It's very difficult to actually remember something just at the top of your head. There have been so many good spells that I've seen. I've seen Kapil Dev bowling some fantastic spells. I've seen some fantastic spells from Richard Hadley, Malcolm Marshall, Andy Roberts, Joel Garner. So it's very difficult to just take out one out of the book. I think there's been plenty of good cricket that I've seen, and I've been very lucky.
Now, cricket has come a long way from classic test match era to one-day internationals and now domination of T20s and professional leagues. In his opinion, has cricket lost something valuable in this era? This is what he said.
I basically believe in moving with the time, and this is what the time demands. People talk about the T20 cricket. This is not real cricket, but I think it's real cricket. I mean, this is what people want today. 3 घंटे की picture देखो, घर जाओ. So you get a result in 3 hours, and you can go back home. You've enjoyed whatever cricket you've seen, and this is what the demand is. Order a burger, have it, go home, पेट भर जाता है.
Does he think that in white ball cricket, shorter boundaries, restrictions on bouncers and field placements, are all of these things making the game really difficult for bowlers? This is what he had to say.
It is very challenging for bowlers because the pitches, they are lovely pitches. The bats have become so good, that the edges also take the ball to the boundary, and the boundaries are made smaller. So there's more challenge for the bowlers, but ICC is looking into it because they've started this thing of you can bowl 2 bounces in an over in T20 game as well, which is I think a very good idea because you don't take everything away from a bowler. I can understand that T20 cricket, you've brought in this cricket to entertain the crowd. पर bowler की भी जान तो ना लो ना. So I think they are looking into it, and you'll see some changes coming very soon.
Maninder was also asked about how he comes from the old school of spin bowling where spinners would love to give flight to the ball. In modern day cricket, how difficult does it become for spinners to go with those basics or to beat a batter in the air? Listen in.
See, basically, I feel a bowler is an artist, whether it's a fast bowler or whether it's a spinner. And I don't see many bowlers bowling long spells in the nets because I remember, Bishan Singh Bedi sir used to always tell me, the more you bowl in the nets, the better you get. That is the kind of confidence you can gain. That is the character you build in the nets and you take it to the matches. And that is what we saw with Anil Kumble as well. He used to bowl a lot of overs in the nets, and what did he do in Test match cricket? 600 wickets. I've seen Wasim Akram, I've seen Kapil Dev bowling, hours after hours in the nets. And once I asked Kapil Paji that you've already got 300 wickets, and you're still bowling an hour and a half in the nets. He says, I'm strengthening my bowling muscles. So things have changed now because now the muscles are, you're strengthening your muscles in the gym. And those are not the cricketing muscles, and that is why probably you're seeing so many injuries happening. People are happy bowling just 4 overs, so they're not bowling a lot of overs in the nets, because of which, that confidence level is not that high as it should be. So spinners ka bhi वैसे ही है that, they're not bowling a lot of overs in the nets, a lot of hours in the nets. So you're seeing more flatter spinners trying to stop runs than trying to get wickets because that confidence level is not so high, because the more you bowl, the better you get. That formula is now out of the window.
Very well said. Then he was asked about if he can recall some old friendly but fierce rivalries in cricket. Listen into what he had to say.
There have been plenty of matches, but one match that I think nobody will ever forget is the tied test match against Australia in 1986 at Chennai, Madras at that time, when Australia and India played, and that was the second tied test match. I was a part of it, so that will stay in my memory forever. After the match, I bowled so well on the fourth day that after the match, Alan Border came up to me and he told me that, you were turning the ball so much, so we thought that it had become a turning track, and that is why I gave you a target of 348 runs, and I thought that I'll declare and we will win the game because we have two spinners in our team. But he was joking with me and he said that with your bowling you cheated my thought. So that is why I declared, but the pitch was still good for batting. So वो कई बार ये इतने बड़े प्लेयर की इस तरह की बातें सुन के अच्छा लगता है कि I bowled well on a good track, and it made him make that decision that he thought that he could win the game on the fifth day.
Well, Maninder Singh got 3 wickets in the second innings of that test match, a tight test match. It was, we've only read about it, and seems like it would have been a thrilling one to watch. But now this is for all the A-fall, T-fall fans. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about adult fans of Lego, or teenagers who are fans of Lego. British Formula One star Lando Norris, he drove a Lego-built life-sized replica of the McLaren P1 supercar at Silverstone Circuit. Norris, who is currently fighting reigning champion Max Verstappen for the F1 championship. He's benefited from this car. The car features 3,42,817 Lego Technique elements combined with an electric motor, coming in at a weight of 1,220 kilograms. The build process required 23 Lego Group and McLaren automotive specialists, a total of 8,344 hours of development and construction that required 393 different types of Lego elements. The build was the first Lego scale build that was able to turn corners and complete an entire race circuit lap. How cool is that? We leave you with those visuals. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Nibbling the curb, using all the track. Oh, he's done it! Across the line! That's crazy.
Following its merger with the Tata Group's flagship airline Air India, the decade-old flight of Vistara Airlines will soon be history. Come November 11th, all Vistara flights will begin to be operated by Air India. How will the Vistara Air India merger affect flyers? Well, News 9 Plus decodes. Let us first discuss how the merger came about. In 2022, the Tata Group acquired Air India, the erstwhile national carrier, from the government. On the August 30th, 2024, the government approved Singapore Airlines' investment into the merged carrier. As a joint venture partner in Vistara, Singapore Airlines holds 49% stake in the airline and will have 25.1% shareholding in the enlarged Air India entity after the merger. Aviation experts say the move is a step towards cutting Vistara's losses. The airline had been bleeding for close to 8 years. The Singapore Air admitted Vistara had been a failure indicates as much. Once the merger is in place, the Vistara fleet will be part of the Air India fleet. The crew and pilots will also be a shared resource, but don't expect the pilot turbulence that both airlines were experiencing to go away anytime soon. How will the merger impact customers who have already booked Vistara flights? For those booked on Vistara flights till November 11th, nothing much will change. The airline will continue to operate flights till that day. For those already booked on Vistara flights scheduled for November 12th and later, their flights will be operated by Air India. For Vistara flights on or after the 12th of November, the flight numbers will change to those of Air India. New electronic tickets will be generated. This will occur over the month of September.